The main reason narcissists generally seem to be okay immediately after the breakup with you, whereas you, on the other hand, are feeling lost, confused, devastated, can hardly envisage a future without them, is that you've lost something, or at least you feel you've lost something. Whereas narcissists, on the other hand, haven't really lost anything at all. And that's the beauty of the trauma bond. That's the beauty of the future faking, which caused you to fall and believe certain things which never could have possibly been true. That's the beauty of this intense addiction you feel towards them because they played with your emotions for so long. You don't know how to live your life without those ups and downs. So immediately after the breakup with a narcissist, in whatever form it would have taken, they still feel your energy being poured into them. They know that you are still trauma bonded towards them. They still believe that if they ever wanted to get you back, that you would be there for them. Or at least if they really wanted you back, and maybe you were a bit skeptical about going back to them, they would believe they had a fighting chance at getting you back. And because they're still feeling your energy, because you're still leaking that towards them, because they're still at the forefront of everything about your life, and because you still want them back, you want closure, you want clarity, you want that fake person that you once believed was their true self, but which you hadn't seen in a long time, you want that person back. Because of all that, in a way, they still feel that they have you. And because they still feel that they have you, it's easier for them to move on. And because they still feel your energy and they're still getting your negative supply, it's easier for them to use that energy and recycle it into conquering new supply. So they're borrowing your energy, your supply, to love bomb other people and get their needs met in other ways. But that dynamic only goes on for so long, because while the person who was with the narcissist tends to be devastated immediately after the breakup, and the narcissist tends to feel okay, that role tends to reverse over time. At least if the person tries to heal and, accepts what happened, assuming the person holds their head up high and moves on with their life, then that role reverses, being that the narcissist, whatever new distraction they had, or sometimes is purely living off the buzz of the harm that they caused you, all of that tends to diminish over time. So the fact that the narcissist was feeling good immediately after the breakup, because maybe they're off to something new, maybe they're validated by how much they destroyed you, and validated by how much power they hold over you because they're not giving you closure, clarity, all those things that they see that you need and want. All of that diminishes over time because time naturally gives the person on the receiving end closure, because you naturally assimilate things over time. You naturally assimilate who you were dealing with. You naturally assimilate the idea that they're not healthy with you, with their departure, and you naturally start to come to accept it, even if the narcissist never gave you closure. Time is always the ally of the person on the receiving end, and time is always the enemy of the narcissist. And with narcissists, they like to know that people are in this, they use this expression a lot, the harem garage, which basically means the narcissist likes to think and know that if they ever wanted you back, you'd be there for them. So the moment the narcissist starts to feel that you might not be there anymore for them should they wish to return, the moment they realize you might not be in that harem garage anymore, the moment they feel that they might have lost you for good, that's the moment where they suddenly have a change of heart, where they sometimes even start to panic, especially if they don't have any good distractions going on at the moment where they have that feeling, especially if they don't have another good supply that's keeping them getting their needs met. Because the moment that you've had that shift where you're not really, because if you think about it, if you stop checking out their social media, for example, and you stop seeing them in real life, after 24, 48, 72 hours, they're no longer able to manipulate you through those subtle things that they do to manipulate people. If you're not allowing them to have any interference in your life, you know, after 72 hours, you're already going to notice a shift. But then after a few weeks and a couple of months, anything that the narcissist once represented in your life, it's all in you. They themselves, if you've detached yourself from them and you're not allowing them to interfere in your life anymore, they themselves are no longer pulling any energetic strings in you. And to the extent you have any trauma bond, to the extent you have any issues that you're trying to put into a good place mentally, maybe they lied, the future faking, you start uncovering all these things and these truths about the person they really were. All of that you start to put into a good place without their interference. So the whole thought of the narcissist in you, if you're no longer receiving any interference from them, is completely in your control, and you can see the past exactly for what it was in such a way where you are purely using it to make yourself stronger. You're purely using it to help you reassess what you want in life, and you're using it purely on a purpose where it's benefiting you. As long as the narcissist is no longer an active part of your life, and again, this goes back to things like they're not messaging, you're not messaging each other anymore. You're not checking their social media. You're not talking to mutual friends. They're not part of your physical experience. If you can block them out, and sometimes if you don't live in the same town or you don't have kids together, it's a lot easier to do that. If you don't work together, then you basically have it won, because there's no space for them to interfere anymore. It's completely up to you. There's nothing they can do to interfere. And any negative thought about them is completely within your control. And it's a constructive measure for you. What you want to avoid is allowing the narcissist to have any active manipulation in your life, any active ongoing pulling of your heartstrings, or still trying to get reactions out of you, triggering you through the things that they might post, or if they're in your physical life, things that they might say or do, knowing that certain things will have certain reactions upon you. So, but that's the thing though, when they're not a part of your life and you're not allowing them to have any interference, they do feel that shift, and they do notice that you have moved on from the person you once were, and they no longer know who you are anymore. But they know that you have something of value because you've once provided a good supply to them, and you once saw something in them, and you allowed them to get close to you in such a way that catered to their needs. And a part of them thinks they want to know that they can have access to that again, especially if you've moved on, especially if you're on to better things, especially if you don't need them anymore. Because the moment you don't need them anymore, it says a lot about how strong and better of a person you are. And it's like, okay, that person doesn't need me anymore. I just want them that much more, because they're that much more valuable, and they're that much, they start to believe that you're better than them, you're better off than them, and they just can't have it. So, time is your ally if you make the right decisions. Time is the narcissist's enemy, just because it is. And you just need to be aware of the fact that they have this way of reappearing in a very innocent, subtle way when you have no need for them, no desire for them, and you're doing other things that are actually good for you. All of a sudden, it's like they want a part of that. They want to be something in your life that is valuable to you, or at least that's the idea they sell. But at the end of the day, they just want to come back into your life so they can ruin everything you have going on. And the second time around, or the third time around, or whatever time around it is, they just want to make sure that this time they'll put you down far enough so you won't be able to move on so easily once they're gone again. You won't be able to live your life in their absence. So their goal each time around, each new cycle, is to take you down that much further and to see how long they can keep you down for. And your job, of course, is not to give them that space, not to give them any space to have an influence in your life, a lot less be a part of your life. And then go out and pursue things, challenges that are worth your while. Thanks for watching.